What's up, guys? I'm Paul Rivera, and I want to cover this Ferrari 355 Spider. Now, I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, another YouTube video on a 355 Spider, but you know, I have so much footage of putting a microphone in the engine bay to capture the sounds of the engine when revving it up, the clicking of the stick shift, in the cabin, out of the car. You know, I really want to communicate to you how special driving a Ferrari 355 really is, especially a 6-speed manual, because this car, you know the specs, you know, all of you guys know this is an Italian hot rod featuring a fire-breathing, high-revving 8,500 RPM redline V8, 3.5 liters, featuring 5 valves per cylinder. Clearly, the 355 is one of the most gorgeous Ferraris that Ferrari has ever penned, okay? Pininfarina did an insane job. I'm sure he was at the board meeting and said, listen guys, Ferrari wants something gorgeous, beautiful, not too exaggerated, not too crazy looking like a Lamborghini, something sexy, okay? Sorry for the bad accent, but something super sexy, super classy, super stylish, still has to have a little flash, of course, it is a Ferrari, but very functional, with some taste. The 355 was a substantial upgrade from the 348. During the time, 1996, possibly earlier, Porsche came out with a 993 turbo, twin turbo, which was extremely fast, all-wheel drive. Shared a lot of technology of the famous 959, and it was a real beast of a car, but it was a car that you could also cruise. You know, it wasn't hard to drive, it was easy to steer. I know, I drove one. I drove actually one that was owned by Van Halen that was modified by Roof with featuring 480 horsepower. That's a different story. But anyways, driving that car was tame, easy to shift. The interior was nice, a lot of leather. And they, you know, Ferrari had the 348, which was kind of a rough car. It was beautiful, had that the side rakes like a Testarossa, gorgeous, but a little rough around the edges. You know, steering was a little hard. So they really needed to do something and really give a serious upgrade. So they used it based on a 348 chassis. They came out with the 355, which was a massive upgrade because besides better steering, this was the beginning of the, hey, Ferrari's got to be reliable, okay? So they went to a hydraulic lifter. You still had to deal with the engine out service, you know, which is you want to change the belt every 30,000 miles. And when you're there, you might as well change the water pump, cam seals and belt tensioners and so forth. But other than that, it's a solid car. There's not much to it. It's just a hot rod engine. It's a beautiful gated shifter, 6-speed manual, few instrument, you know, a little instrument cluster, and just gorgeous lines, you know? And I love the hood. I love the vents. I love the rear fenders. I mean, when they'd pen the rear end, they said, look, this has got to have the most beautiful, gorgeous, wide rear end. Baby Scott back. But it's got to be tight, not too sloppy. And you don't have a better rear on the 355, just super gorgeous. The front, very subtle. You have your pop-in headlights, which is really cool, or pop-up headlights, I should say. So it really cleans up the lines when they're down. And then you have this beautiful little grille, just a little taste of class that's non-functional, but it's gorgeous. Little metal grille from the past. Some of the cool things, obviously the side intakes for the radiators are beautiful. They got rid of the rakes and they're so gorgeous. They just really complete this car. I mean, it means all business, right? Get that air, cool this fire-breathing monster. I tell you, driving this car, you'll forget about all troubles at work or home or whatever. You're so involved. It's so beautiful. Top down, glorious sound of the engine, clicking through the manual. This is why you buy this car. And a manual, much lower maintenance, and the clutch will last forever. The clutch is all about your driving. You know, you don't have to, this is not about drag racing and peeling out and dumping the clutch, okay? Any new Mustang could probably eat this alive 0 to 60. That's not what this car does. It's not drag racing, even though it's fast. You know, I believe it's a 5-second car, fast enough, could be slightly under, just depending on how radical you go, but it's not about that. It's about the experience. All right, let's take it for a whirl, huh? rating this car is? We just won a 355 6-speed manual Spider. Best car under 100 grand you could have. And what I mean by best car, is it the most reliable? Probably not, but you know, once you service it, there's not much to it. It's not that complicated. It's not too high tech. So maybe an R8 around this price point is a little more reliable, but is it exhilarating? Does it exude as much passion? No way. Listen to this. Oh my God.